Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM and welcome to my top 10 favourite maps of Farming Simulator 22. Now this was a particularly difficult decision and time spent going through my quite extensive collection of maps, going through them all to figure out which ones I felt were and trying to make a top 10 list essentially. Because of where we are in Farming Simulator 22 with Farming Simulator 25 literally a couple of months away, I kind of started just having a bit of a reminisce session and looking back and thinking back over all the maps that I've played since Farming Simulator 22 came out and all the huge amount of time spent on various maps. Now I know I've got a few series out, haven't I, that I know some of you might watch, but there's only a couple of those, and there is so many maps that have been released for Farming Simulator 22, absolutely wonderful creations that our modding community have made for us all, and I felt it was high time I just kind of made a little video like this just to go through some of them. As I say, I've cherry-picked 10 out of my ridiculous collection of maps that I've got in my mod folder, and just kind of pick out my 10, the ones that stood out to me as my 10 favourite. Now, as I said, I've personally got, well, I don't exactly know how many maps I've got, but I've got quite a lot. And this obviously, you know, this doesn't take away from ones that I haven't selected in this list. There are loads and loads of amazing maps. So, but yeah, as I say, I've just spent a little bit of time going through them all, compiling a bit of a list as to which ones I felt. It's the kind of the ones that I spent the most time playing, essentially, the ones that I felt really just deserved a bit of a revisit, essentially. So, let's start off with a bit of a trip up to Nebraska. So welcome everyone to Green Valley, Nebraska by DJ Modding. Now this list of 10 maps isn't in any particular order, so I'm not starting with my least favourite and ending with the absolute best. I've just picked 10 of the best in my personal opinion, of course. So we're starting here, Green Valley, Nebraska by DJ Modding. Now this is an absolute beauty. I've spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours on this farm in particular, and another farm over there. Now one of the great things about these big 4X maps, they give you so much variety and so much, or a lot of them do anyway, give you a huge amount of variety and styles of gameplay to choose from. This map, as I say, it's a 4X, it's a PC only. There will be links in the video description below for all 10 maps. If any of you, if I've managed to find a map that some of you might not have heard of or seen before, you'll be able to click on the link in the video description below, go and download it and maybe squeeze a few hours in before Farming Simulator 25 gets released. But yeah, now these aren't going to be map tours either. They're not. I'm not going to be going through each individual talking point of every single map, because this video would be ridiculously long, wouldn't it? I just wanted to have a quick revisit and have a quick look at a few of the main points and the main awesome things about these individual maps. This map in particular contains 39 fields, and field size-wise, you've got you've got the biggest one at 151 acres, and you've got the smallest at 8.6 acres. So you can pick and choose the style and size of machinery that you can use. You're not just limited to having to use massive, super expensive machinery. You can do, of course. This map's perfect for it. It's great for multiplayer as well. You've got plenty of room. But yeah, you can also go for the small stuff and have a nice, simple, rural farm style going on. But yeah, I spent so many hours on this farm in particular. It's an absolute beauty. Now I'm going to be doing most of the I'm only going to be spending a few minutes on each one, as I say, if I'm going to be doing 10 maps into this video. I don't want it to be stupidly long, but I just wanted to, like I say, just have a quick revisit. I mean, just look at the feature of this bridge, for example. It's an absolute beauty. It really is. Just having this in the background as you're playing, that was one of the things that turned me to this map. I wanted to, it's having the scenery and just having that involvement and that immersion into a map that makes you go, wow, I just want to play that. So purely because of this bridge, I remember buying this field down here and just going, yeah, I want to do some work in this field just so I can spend a bit of time near this bridge. But then again, that's just me, isn't it? But yeah, I spent a lot of time over there on that farm, and I spent quite a lot of time over on this farm as well. There are 4 main farms on the map. I'll jump into the map PDA very quickly and show you. But yeah, this was a really nice layout as well. Again, you've got a nice big cow barn, the custom pasture down here. A couple of big sheds for some storage. I think if I remember correctly, there's also this is also a pig barn up here. Or is it sheep barn? I'm not too sure actually. Let's remind myself of that. Let's bring up the trigger so I don't actually own the land, do I? let's just jump into the map PDA very quickly. So there you go, yeah, you've got Green Valley Ranch up here, that was the big red one we were just at there. We're over here now at Fair Oaks, you've got Hillside Ranch just down the hill, and then over here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, you've got Ashley Farms. Now, they've all got really nice feeling to them, and that's what draws me to maps, and to especially maps like this where the farms are already pre-built for you. I do love sitting there and creating my own farm. Obviously, I can lose myself for hours, days, if not, you know, building myself a farm. But these pre-set out farms, I felt they just have a really nice feeling to them, and that's what drew me to them. I know there was a very popular series from my good friend, the FARMERSIM guy. He spent a lot of time doing a live stream series on here, and that was a wonderful watch, I've got to say. I'm sure he'll agree with me as well that this map was just there was something very special about it, and there still is. There really is. It's an absolute beauty. It really is. The landscape, the lay of the land, as it were. It's not a completely flat map. It does have some hills and undulations and ups and downs, but it was right to the area. So and here we are at, I think this is called Fair Oaks, isn't it? This is another lovely layout for a pre-built farm. But yeah, just a cracking map, an absolute beauty. I lost myself for hours and hours and hours, many hundreds of hours on this map. It really is. We've got sell points, of course, big grain silos, cooperatives. Forgive the lag there, but yeah, it's an absolute beauty. Check out that smoke as well. I don't remember seeing that. That's awesome. That really is. So yeah, like I said, I'm not going to spend too much time on each individual map because this video would be ridiculously long and you'd all be bored to tears. So, but yeah, I just wanted to spend a bit of time in flight mode, just zipping around, just giving a quick overview of the whole thing. Got a nice little town down here, really well laid out. It's awesome. It really is. So there we are, map number 1. Very quick revisit. Green Valley, Nebraska by DJ Modding. Map number 2. Welcome everyone to Holmakra. Now this is a map that is available for all platforms. It's on the Mod Hub. This is by Oscar8599 and Pixel Farm. As I say, it's for all platforms. It has been for quite a while, but it's an absolute beauty. As you can tell, obviously this is predominantly, or it is entirely, a forestry only map. Now there are wide open areas, as you can see on this hill here, that are suitable for, they're quite hilly, and they've got some pretty substantial ups and downs on this, so regardless of what size machinery you're using, if you do want to take on something like this, you are going to need something with a bit of power. And I can speak from a bit of experience there, because I did have, very early on in my YouTube career, I started a survival series on here, and purely because of the way I approached it and the way I did things, as it were, very quickly, I think it was maybe by episode 3 or 4, I was already on my way to being almost a millionaire, because I chopped down that many trees, I spent that much time chopping things down and carting things off to the sawmill on the map, that I made a substantial amount of money very quickly. So as far as the roleplay series go, survival series, I survived. What can I say? Pretty well. Within a few episodes, I had quite a decent sized farm going on. We had cows, we had multiple big expensive machinery. I had a Fendt 1167, I think it was, within about 3 or 4 episodes, and that's a pretty expensive piece of kit. But yeah, I did take on the challenges of creating fields in these areas. I cleared huge swaths of trees to make way for some fields, and I did make a few. I think I had about 4 or 5 fields on here, and it was great fun, and it's an absolute beauty of a map. As I say, it's obviously, as you can tell, it's predominantly forestry related. Yeah, it was this area here, this massive area here it's got these relatively widely spaced trees in it, but I cleared all of these and made a field on this hill. It was great fun, it really was, and I cleared a huge area. I think it was this plot of land here that I bought kind of within the circle that I'm flying around here. I cleared all those, literally thousands of trees, so I made a lot of money. But it was good fun, and so obviously Holmakra, this map, it holds a special place in my heart for me, because it was something that I started early on in my YouTube career. But yeah, it's an absolute corker of a map. There's very little going on the map apart from trees. There are no fields. You've got one shop. I think if I've got my bearings, yeah, it's this way. You've got a shop, you've got a sawmill, you've got some processing points for wood chips, etc, etc. Obviously, with it being a forestry wood-oriented map, that's pretty much what's on the map, and there is another sell point on the other side of the map as well. And that's pretty much it. But that's what drew me to it. It was in my opinion, the dictionary definition of start from scratch, start with nothing. Chop a few trees down, just have a. I think I started with a pickup truck and a flatbed trailer and a chainsaw, and that's it. But it's a beauty. Obviously, dropping down to the ground, you've got some really nice, really bumpy, gnarly kind of lanes here. They circulate around the whole map. Very, very bumpy. I couldn't do anything with them. I did try to smooth them off, if I remember correctly, but couldn't do anything with them. But yeah, the map itself has just got a wonderful feel to it. It's an absolute beauty. So yeah, there's aside from that, there's not much more to me to show you on this map. It's just trees everywhere. But nonetheless, a special one for me. So, on to the next one. Let's head over to Germany. Welcome to Deutschland, everyone. Here we are. I couldn't not include this one in this list of 10. Now again, like I said before, it's not a map tour or anything like that. I'm just showing them off as quickly as possible in that respect. But yeah, this is an absolute work of art. It's a masterpiece, I'm sure you'll all agree. The time spent, the level of detail in all of the features across the map is just incredible. It really is. It's a very special map, this. It really is. It's a 1x map. It is available to download from EDOMOD's official website. This was created by EDOMOD and by SBaffo Farming. But it is an absolute beauty. It really is. I mean, the level of detail, the attention, the work, and custom. I think every building on here is pretty much custom. I mean, here's the... if none of you have seen this map before, this is the shop, the dealership. All the vehicles that are in here, you can actually get in. You can actually, well, I don't know if you can't say you can actually use them, but yeah, you can get in these and drive them around. I don't know, but I can't remember whether it charges you to use them or not. But still, it's an absolute beauty of a map, this one. It really is. Just check that out. Absolute work of art. It really is. But yeah, it's as I say, it's a 1x map. But it is only available at the minute. I'm not at the time of this recording. I don't think there's a console version out for it yet. I think there was talk of it, but as far as I'm aware, it's not on the mod hub yet. Still, but it really is a beautiful, beautiful map. I mean, going over here down to the there's just this beautiful old water mill. It's a water fill point. You can get free water from here, from this point here, from this big valve. But yeah, just check out the old water wheel there. Can't imagine the level, the number of work hours and time spent just creating that thing alone, let alone any of the other bits on the map. Now, this is actually my own save. Again, those of you who are familiar with my channel and my content, my series, I do have a series on this map, and this is the save game from that. So here's my farm. Yeah, work in progress, as it were, series-wise. Got some animals down here. Lovely custom barns. Lovely. Custom bits of machinery here. You can, like for example, mucking out your cows. These are quite special things. You can get into this thing here like that. I'll bring up the heads-up display, operate that, and it scrapes out the manure for you and tips it down into a pile there. How cool is that? And then you can just quite simply get out and go about your business. But yeah, it's very, very special. And this up here as well, this is another pre-built farm on the map. That's a cow barn. Can you believe it? It's like a modern art masterpiece, isn't it? But it's yeah, very, very special map indeed. So as I say, there'll be links in the video description below for this one as well, to EDOMOD's official website. If those of you who are watching who are unfamiliar with this map, and again fancy squeezing in a few hours on it before, if you're planning on going over to FARMERSIM 25, can't recommend this one enough. And for the next one, we're back over in the good old US of A. And now this is Ohio Richlands by Julian F. Modding. This is a 1x all platforms map available to download on the mod hub. Again, link will be in the video description below. But I spend a lot of time on this map. I was very excited for this map's release when it came out a wee while ago, and it is an absolute beauty. It feels so good. The atmosphere is just wonderful on this. Now this is, I believe this was initially based on real life satellite data, and according to Julian F modding in the description of the map on the Giants mod hub, with knowledge of the area, you can still technically locate this area on like Google Maps or using satellite data. So again, just a lovely little bit of attention to detail, the fact that it is technically based on a real life area. But something that made me giggle as I just turned the game on and came hovering over this field, the name of the field owner, Cliffhanger. In all the time spent on this map, I hadn't noticed that, and yeah, just made me giggle a bit. Cliffhanger, yeah. But yeah, as you can see, this is a really lovely little map. It really is. Again, you've got some lovely pre-built farms, suitable for all size and shape of machinery. Lovely old rural American-style farms they've just got a lovely amount of atmosphere and feel and depth to the whole thing. It's an absolute beauty of a map, and like I said, I've spent a lot of time on here farming away. It's again, you've got your usual bits and bobs, plenty of fields, varying sizes, a couple of sell points. Obviously, like I said before, forgive me for repeating myself, but obviously it's not a map tour, just flying around from above, showing you what the maps look like, trying to cover as much ground as possible, as it were. But yeah, got just some lovely areas, you know, like you've got these little rural farms, some random guy walking through somebody's garden there. But yeah, if you wanted to start off relatively rural, relatively basic, there's quite a few areas on this map that you could just buy the plot of land and start from a little workshop with a single tractor, or with an established farm with a handful of bits of kit. But yeah, I think it was this farm here that I spent most of my time on, down here. Happy memories, what can I say? I think I did do a couple of alterations, but I didn't remove any of the existing buildings, I just placed a couple more down. But again, that's the wonder of this game, isn't it? The freedom to do as you please and build a farm however you want it. But yeah, some lovely features around the map, like this big pond of water. It just, again, adds life, adds feel. Really, really nice map, this. So again, if this is a map that you haven't seen or heard of, heartily recommend going to download it. As you can see, relatively small field here, so you can start off with some pretty basic small equipment and work your way up. But there are some there aren't massive fields on this map, but they're big enough to take, or to warrant at least one big harvester, I suppose, if that was how you wanted to go. But again, not all of them are straightforward. Obviously, this one you've got this kind of hole in the middle of the field to work around, but again, you can change that if you want. But yeah, beautiful map, absolute beauty. Ohio Richlands by Julian F modding. Map number 5, how can I not? It's the Vintage Oaks by FARMERSIM Brisco. Now this is a relatively recent release we've had in the last, I want to say, couple of months, and it is an absolute beauty. Again, those of you familiar with my channel know I have a series on here. I couldn't not include this one in this list because this really is one of my favourites, even though it has been a relatively recent release. It is a beauty. It is a 4X map, so it's PC only. It's available to download from FARMERSIM Brisco's itch.io page. Again, link will be in the video description below. If you haven't heard of it and you're a PC player, by all means go get it, because it's an absolute beauty. So yeah, it's there are no fewer than 19 starter farms on this map. Now, FARMERSIM Brisco spent a huge amount of time, thousands and thousands of hours creating this masterpiece. It's just cracking. The fields are massive. It's a UK map, of course. It's yeah, the fields are massive. I was craving a big 4X, big fielded map for the UK. Obviously, we've had some scorches in the past, haven't we, from the likes of Oxygendavid. We've got Court Farms and Calmsden, and no doubt a few others, but this one, with its massive field sizes, really did float my boat. I do like a big field, multiple machines. It's a beauty. Now again, like I said, forgive me repeating myself, it's not a map tour. I'm not going to go around everything, because again, this is a map tour in itself. I did do a map tour for this map, so if you're interested, go check it out. It's it's a beauty. It really is. So much scope, so much custom buildings. It's got, well, I think everything on this map is custom. All the buildings, the farm sheds themselves. FARMERSIM Brisco did some wonderful work reskinning some of the Giants base game sheds. I'm going to whiz around now and try and find one just to show you all if you haven't seen them. We were actually hovering over them before, weren't we? But if I go and try and pick out one of the farms, I think there might be one over here. Yeah, there we go. For example, this cow shed here. This is based initially on one of the Giants' machinery sheds, the big easy shed. It's kind of based on that, and he's completely reskinned, retextured, and given them a rustic, old school look. Yeah, it's incredible. It really is. These lovely stone buildings, stone sheds. Everything about the map is designed to feel. Well, again, the name says it all, vintage oaks. It was designed and made to feel like you were kind of set in the 80s. FARMERSIM Brisco did a lot of research into, because this is his local area, and he did a lot of research into trying to recreate the area faithfully, even down to the detail of the names of the farms. A lot of the names of the farms are actually what they were in real life back in the 80s. I think that's amazing. It really is. I mean, there we go. There, for example, that is again, I believe it started off life as one of the base game silos, and it's now a custom silo suited to the map. Lovely brick building, old, warm, rusty metal silos. Yeah, the map is full of amazing things like that. But again, huge fields, absolute beauty of the map. It really is. There's a few towns, villages, rows of houses. You've got traffic on the map. Lots of custom work gone into this. And again, forgive me, I know this is going to be a relatively quick tour, quick zip around of just a few of the areas of the map like this, just flying around just to show you the lay of the land, as it were. But yeah, if you haven't got it already and you're a PC player, go get it. Links in the video description below. The Vintage Oaks by FARMERSIM Brisco. So sticking with the United States of America, we're here on Huron County, Michigan. Now this is by MIAxeman, and it is loosely based on an area called Bad Axe in Michigan. Now this is a 16x map. It's an absolute massive one. It's obviously PC only. Link will be in the video description below. But I spent a lot of time on this map. I really did. I used this map kind of to teach myself course play and auto drive. It is a relatively simple setup with it being such a big map. If I jump very quickly into the map PDA, as you can see there, we have hundreds of fields. I can tell you how many there is if I scroll right down to this here. There are in total 215 fields, so there's quite a few on this one, let's be honest. But yeah, in the map PDA here, there's my mouse gone. I need to jump in and out of it again, forgive me. But yeah, there's lots going on this map. There's loads of custom productions. They're all base game productions, but I think a lot of them are custom buildings. But you've got the likes of bakeries, cereal factories, sugar mills. I'm just cherry picking them here. Flour mill up there, tailor shop. What have we got there? We've got a dairy, a forage mixing plant, an oil plant. There's so many on this map. But this is if you start in new farmer mode, this is the farm that you start with, and this is what drew me to it. It's a lovely setup, nestled away in the trees. It does utilise a couple of external mods. You've got the ranch house and the garage here by Elk Mountain Modding. Again, a beautiful mod pack from Elk Mountain Modding. It's a really nice. It's a fully interioured house. You can go in and out of that one. Real nice mod. But yeah, this farm has a really nice setup to it, and it's what drew me to it. But the one thing that did draw me to this map is one of the central fields, field 160. This is a whopper. This is 609 acres. This field, I think, it's one of the biggest that I've come across it from a map without creating one yourself. But this is it here, 600 acres. If I jumping into the map PDA, this is where we are. As you can see, it's the biggest on the map. At the minute, I think it's got corn in it, but yeah, this is the field I used to teach myself course play, and it's particularly using multiple machines. It was a perfect setup. But yeah, I had a relatively active farm save going on here long before my time as a YouTube content creator. But yeah, I had a pretty massive auto drive network going on with pick-up points and fill points for auger wagons and trucks going back and to the farm over there. But it's a beauty. Now, ordinarily, it obviously, you know, character-wise, I mean, it's got feel to it, don't get me wrong. And again, the map PDA shows that almost all of the fields are just relatively straightforward, square-shaped, rectangular-shaped. There are a couple odd shapes on here, but they're predominantly just square and simple like that. But the road network is just a grid layout. But as it's stated in the description for the map, where you can download it from, it is loosely based on the real area, so this is essentially what it's like in real life, which makes sense. But yeah, it really is a beauty. And obviously, being a 16x map, it's absolutely perfect for multiplayer. You can get a huge setup going on here, as I'm sure you can appreciate. Lots of big fields. There's a couple of small ones as well. If I think I can go into the field calculator mod here. As you can see there, you've got field 96, which is 2.9 hectares. And if we scroll all the way down, as I say, field 160 in hectares is 246. And I think you've got pretty much everything in between. I know that is a whopper, but you've got, 30 hectares, 84 hectares there, 5.2, 63, 151. So there's a huge amount of varying sizes on this map. But yeah, if really big maps were your thing, and you haven't heard of this one before, the link will be in the video description below. Again, forgive me, I know I've spent a couple of minutes on here in a very small part of the map, but again, it's I just wanted to just cover a little bit of my history playing the game. I suppose that's what it is. I've spent a lot of hours on this map, so I just wanted to very, very quickly revisit it and just have a quick look at it again, because I haven't actually been on there for quite a while. But yeah, it's a beauty. It really is. The link will be in the video description below if you want to go download it. Now, I'm sure this one needs no introduction, ladies and gentlemen. Court Farms Country Park by Oxygendavid. I'm sure this is a community favourite, isn't it? It's an absolute beauty. I've actually jumped into my own save game on here. I've got a series on here. Again, those of you familiar with my channel know I've got the relatively long-running series on Court Farms here. This is my setup on home farm. Been here for quite a while, so there's a few things going on here that aren't ordinarily in the base game map. Obviously, this relatively new custom field that I've carved out around the windmill here. But yeah, Court Farms. Again, Scroff's Farmhand series takes place on this beautiful map. That's get my bearings here. Where are we? That's down here on the actual Court Farms itself. George's Farm. I'm sure we're all familiar with that. But this is a work of art. It really is. I'm sure we've all spent a lot of time on here. Me and Mr. Sim Gamer had a series going on down here, down on this farm. I can't actually remember what this farm's called. It's Stonebridge Farm, I think it's called. Yeah, Stonebridge Farm. There we are. Lovely little setup. But again, we all know Oxygendavid, I'm sure, and his masterpieces of maps. Even down to that, little BMXs lying around, sitting down there next to a building there. I had a BMX like that once. Beautiful. So yeah, this is. I've spent so much time on this map, and I'm sure we all have. It's based on a real life place, Banwell in Somerset, so it's all real to life. It's the immersion that this map can provide is just wonderful. I've said it several times before during my episodes on my series down here, but this is one of those maps that I just feel you can play forever, just because it feels so close to real life. Obviously, being a resident of the United Kingdom, living in relatively leafy Cheshire here, it feels like home. It really does. It's again just a traditional old English pub, the Old Plough. So many aspects of this map are just so close to home. I mean, it's like this down here, a little allotment. There's one of these just round the corner from my house, a little public allotment where people have things going on. Admittedly, the one round the corner from me looks a little bit messier than this one, but still. But yeah, it's a beautiful map. I'm sure it needs no introduction, but again, it definitely makes it to my top 10 list of favourite maps. It really does. As I said at the beginning, this list of 10 maps is in no order. It really isn't. I think this one at the minute, this is number 7 in the list here. But it is an absolute beauty. It really is. It's available to download on the Mod Hub. Like I say, it's for all platforms. The link will be in the video description below. if you haven't seen it or got it already, which I'll be surprised if no one's heard or seen of this one before. But again, just look at that, do you know what I mean? Attention to detail, it's just a bit of decoration, but goodness knows how long it took to create that and put that into the map. Lovely old ruined, typical old English castle. It's a very special one. This will always hold a special place in my heart, Court Farms. It's a series that I was hoping to hit 100 episodes on, but obviously with where we are, again, in the cycle of FARMERSIM 22 and with FARMERSIM 25 around the corner, wanting to have enough time to make enough episodes to hit 100 episodes, I don't think I'm going to make it. I think I'm somewhere in the late 70s at the minute. I want to say maybe 76 or 77. So I'm not sure if I'll hit 100 episodes, but still, nonetheless, it doesn't take away from the wonderful time and joy that I've had playing this map and creating content for you all. It's an absolute beauty. I mean, just this on itself, just this lovely little stream running alongside the road here, just that in itself. That's what maps do for me. I see a little thing, a little point like this, and it just makes me want to play the map. It's that's how my mind has always worked with a map. It's not necessarily how the whole thing looks from above or from a map PDA or something. It'll be, or it can be, just seeing one little view like that. A lovely, typical, relatively straight English country road with a lovely house nestled next to it. The sound of them running water, the stream running down there, and it just makes me go, I want to be involved in that. That's how I've always got excited about maps, is just seeing the odd little angle, little view here and there. But this map is just absolutely crammed with views in typical English areas like this. It really is gorgeous. So again, a very quick stop. Court Farms Country Park by Oxygendavid. And I guess this one's not going to need too much introduction either. Welcome to Elk Mountain Wyoming by Elk Mountain Modding. This is a masterpiece as well, if you ask me. I spent so many hours of my life down on this map in the beginning when it was first released. It is beautiful, it really is. This one is a 4X map, so it's PC only. Now I do believe there was talk of Elk Mountain Modding creating a 1x version of this for consoles as well. Forgive me, I don't know where that's up to at the minute, but again, I'll post a link. I will post a link to the map download for version 2 of this map in the video description below. But if you want to go and follow Elk Mountain Modding on Facebook, I believe that's where you're going to get some main updates from him on there. But this is an absolute corker. It's got a bit of everything in here. Now the map itself, if I jump into the PDA, you've only got, I say only, there are 10 laid out fields on this map, ranging from 52 acres in size down to 3.8. So field 5 here is the big one, 52 acres, and field 6 is the smallest at 3.8 acres. And you've got, I suppose, a bit of everything in between there. A couple of interesting circular fields as well on the map, 3 of them in total. But one of the main things that drew me to this map was just again, the atmosphere, the feel to it, the ruralness of it. It feels wonderful. Now, forgive me again, I'm whizzing around in flight mode. I've got super speed on, just so we can cover as much ground as possible. But the farms, the layout on here is just so lovely. I've lost myself for so many hours on this map. I did start once or twice on a couple of the pre-built farms on the map. The main one being over here. I did spend a lot of time on here, but I also did create a few custom farms. Again, it's just what this game allows you to do, doesn't it? I think I did a custom one down on here. I deleted all the buildings on here and built a lovely little custom setup using all this land here, and I think I even had a custom field carved into the grassland here. Again, I lost myself for hours on this map. But one of the very, very special things that this map does have, not only obviously does it cater for your arable farming, and also clearly for a bit of forestry, but if we go, and you've also got like you've got the mountain walks as well. You can go right up to the top of the mountain. Another special thing that this map does have, it does have collectibles. I haven't covered collectibles in any of the other maps. I know a few of them that I've covered so far do have collectibles on, but this has got custom collectibles. It's only got 15 of them, but essentially you've got some treasure to find, and the value of some of these collectibles is wonderfully obscene. You can get a lot of money into the bank account from that, from collecting those things. But what this does have, now this is one of the first maps I had kind of been introduced to the whole thing, was is mining. Up here you have the Elk Mountain mine. Now what this enables you to do, eventually, is to get gold. You've got a gold processing unit up here, a couple of them. You dig the stuff out of the ground, you turn it to, I think if I remember correctly, it's gold ore, and then you refine that into gold bullion, essentially. And again, as you can imagine, the money that you can get from gold bullion is pretty ridiculous. But again, it allowed me to exercise my yearn to create auto drive courses. So I had a fabulous auto drive course coming all the way down here for the trucks and the loaders. I had diggers down here, obviously digging up the ground and loading it into the trucks, bringing it up into here, into the wash machine. I think if I remember correctly, that's what this is. And then you transfer everything to these two places up here. Now I also built a massive, using Elk Mountain's massive ranch workshop. I had that up here, so I had a wonderful setup going on. It just brings back so many memories, it really does. But again, it also brings back memories of, as I said, of FARMERSIM Guy's wonderful Elk, his Surviving Wyoming series. This map was the setting and the backdrop for that wonderful series. I think there was a couple of series worth of it. So if you haven't seen that already, go watch it, 'cause it's absolutely brilliant. But again, just the feel of the place, it's so authentic, and like I said, I lost myself for so many hours of my life on this map. It allowed me to exercise the old rural equipment. I know I had a couple of old farm halls down here. Now again, this is before my time as making content on YouTube, so I don't have any of it to throw out as content on my channel, unfortunately. But yeah, it's just beautiful down here. There's a shop down here to sell the gold, if I remember correctly. Is it round here? Yeah, the pawn shop. This is where you sell your gold. And there's a nice old box of gold coins there. There's evidence of what goes on down here. We buy gold. But yeah, it's really cool. And even a little bit of custom work, like the Caterpillar branded shop here, John Deere as well. But if you bought yourself enough equipment in one go, this is kind of like, this was the overspill car park. So if you bought loads of equipment and filled up the area here, which is where it spawns, it would start to spawn over here as well, which I thought was a really nice touch. But yeah, this has been around a while. I appreciate that, but it is one of my favourites. It's an absolute beauty of a map. Obviously, you can take advantage of the pre-made fields, the pre-laid out fields, but there, again, going to the south of the map, there are some vast areas of grassland here that you can carve out your living if you so wished, making your own custom fields. Out on the prairie lands down here, we've got some lovely mountainous areas again to go for a bit of a wander, potentially have a bit of a treasure hunt. And you've got the same over here on the east side of the map as well. The Elk River carving its way through the landscape. And again, this lovely, big, wide open area of land for you to go full custom on if you wished. And again, this lovely little rural church building as well. It was just, well, there you go. Bit of an elk sound there. Now, if I remember correctly, I'm not trying to spoil anything, obviously this map's been out for a long time now, but yeah, there's some collectibles. You've got the treasure, but you've also got antlers, elk antlers dotted around for you to pick up and earn a few quid from. And I think that when you come near one of those antlers, there you go. No spoilers. There's one of the antlers there. So if I bring up the display, click on collect, and there you go. You found an elk antler shed. There you go. Yeah. And you got £1,000 for that one. But trust me, the money that you can get from finding the treasure is considerably more than that. Again, here's one of the base map farms. Lovely layout, really nice. Spent a lot of time down on here. Means a lot to me, this map. I haven't spent so much time on here. So there we go, another very, very quick whistle stop tour of Elk Mountain, Wyoming by Elk Mountain Modding. Well, there was no way that this map wasn't going to be in my list of top 10. Welcome everyone to Edgewater, Saskatchewan by BCBuhler Farms and South Sask Modding. This one really is a very special one for me. This is the map that kicked off my bravery to start my YouTube channel, as it were. This was my first setting for my first kind of roleplay series here. It actually, technically, it started out on Elk Mountain Modding, actually. Elk Mountain Wyoming, sorry, the map we've just visited.
I was so keen for the release of this map. The build-up, the hype for this one was real and massive in my mind. And it had already, having seen the snippets of the map before release, it really did whet my appetite to try and do some kind of roleplay thing on here as my first ever series on my YouTube channel. Quite simply called Edgewater. It's out there in the annals of history, as it were, on my YouTube channel. But yeah, this is a very special one for me. It's a beautiful map. It's a 1x map. It is available for all platforms. It's on the Mod Hub. Again, link will be in the video description below. But it is so beautiful. It is dripping with atmosphere and feel and everything that I look for in a map. I mean, it's got some wonderfully custom shaped fields with you've got the flood runoffs in the middle. Now, I did do a lot of custom work on here on my series. I kind of filled in a lot of this and ploughed it all under and made one gigantic field over here. This was actually my setup on the series. If I remember correctly, I ended up having a sheep barn here. I did a bit of custom work here, but I kind of tarmacked over this area and had my workshop here. But yeah, this map is absolutely gorgeous. It's very, very special to me anyway. It really is a very, very special piece of work, this. Again, if you haven't heard of it, where have you been? The link will be in the description, go download it. But just the feel of the starter farms on here, I just love the way that they're all nestled under all the trees, that the textures of the ground just feel very real and nice and old and rural. It's a lovely place to be, quite frankly. I enjoyed every second of playing on here. Just being here now just makes me want to replay it and come back on here, and of course it's I just haven't got the time to do it, but yeah, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous map. If you're getting a bit bored of farming, you can go for a bit of a walk and have a little bit of a wander. You've got a train on the map that I think's coming along here somewhere. Bit of a custom, I think it's a custom train, isn't it? Colour-wise, anyway. Canadian Railway. Lovely thing. But yeah, it's holds a very special place for me, this one. It really does. Got the lovely little town here. And you've got a few of your main points. You've got your animal dealer. You've got a big cooperative sell point here. I think the dairies around the back here. You've got a couple of BCBuhler's custom buildings here. This is a seed and fertilizer building. I think that's the fertilizer one, and this is the seed one, I think, perhaps, or lime. Can't quite remember, but these are all custom works from BCBuhler Farms. Very gifted and skilled modder in our community. But yeah, just the setting of some of these places, obviously you can start a lovely little rural setup you wanted in an area like just having this is a beauty to start off with. Pop a little workshop down there and start off small, or you can start off big, or anything in between. There's plenty of space to create your own custom area if you so wished. This is one of my my NPC character farms down here. Amos, I think his name was. But again, lovely custom cow pasture on the outside here. But yeah, Edgewater, Saskatchewan, very special to me, this one. Now, no top 10 favourite maps of FARMERSIM 22 I feel wouldn't be complete without this. Carston Farm by Oxygendavid. This, I know I did say at the very beginning of this video that I wasn't putting them in any particular order, and now I've actually got to the number 10 here. I kind of feel like I have. Subconsciously, I've left Calmsden to the last, because I think deep down this is probably my most favourite map. This, I kind of feel it came out very, very quickly after the release of FARMERSIM 22. I can't actually remember how long it was, but it felt quite soon. It was probably a few months, don't get me wrong, but for me anyway, it felt like it came out very soon after the release of 22. And I'm sure, like a lot of us, I stuck with this map for so long. It is a work of art. It's again based on a real life location in the United Kingdom, and again, I know a lot of you will be familiar. This was the origins of Scroft's The Farmhand series. Down here, he did a lot of custom work down here. George's farm was situated roughly about here, wasn't it? His little yard. I know we all spent many hours watching that beautiful series and how it's developed and stretched and expanded over onto Court Farms. But yeah, this was the beginning of it all, wasn't it? It's but what a map, what a place. It's so authentic and so real. Again, I feel like I'm doing it a disservice. I know it's not map tours, I'm not doing a map tour or anything like that, but I still feel like I'm doing it a disservice by just spending a few minutes just whizzing around in flight mode, just looking at it from above. But the memories that this map brings back are just nothing short of wonderful. We have the shops down here, and this map does have collectibles on here in the form of those colourful toys. I think I can see one there right away. There you go. They're all relatively easy to find, but there we go. Some form of cow, there we are. I don't know why it's not playing that little jingle for me. But still, either way, this was a cracker. Still is, always will be. It's, yeah. Oh, every time I come down here and I look at this, I see I just remember the yard that Scroft created for the dealership and how it was always full of loads of different types of machinery. I always envied that about that series. That was one thing I always loved when he came down here into the store to pick something up for George or whatever. And there'd always be something different going on here, and it was just like, it just felt so real. It was wonderful. But yeah, the map itself, lots and lots of different size fields. Again, it's a map, sorry, for all platforms, available on the mod hub. Link will be in the video description below. This was the main starter farm that you started off with. Again, I'm sure just laying eyes on this brings back memories for a lot of us, doesn't it? Just wonderful. You had a lovely little quaint English village down here. You had another. This was the cow farm over here, wasn't it? This was the cow pasture. And there was yeah, there we go. We got the horse stables over here. We had this lovely little horse riding area here with the jumps, and then if I remember correctly, yeah, this is the like a pig pasture. But there was some awesome areas. I remember in one of my own save games, I created an area in this little bit here because it was kind of like a secret area. You couldn't really see it from anywhere on the map without flying above. It was just completely hidden away by all the trees, and it was just wonderful. It really is beautifully authentic, based on real life satellite data and map data. It's yeah, just the memories here are just wonderful. Oh, and I remember this shed as well. This was great. I remember utilising this and having it rammed full of bales. So this is where I learnt how to stack bales in this shed. Yeah, just wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. This is one of the greats. It really is. I'm sure you'll all agree with me. So anyway, there we are. I've very, very quickly. And now I do apologise. I know I've rushed. I feel like I've rushed through 10 of my favourite maps, but I just wanted to make a list of them, demonstrate and showcase just a few of them, 10 of them, on this video. Now this video, I'd imagine it's going to be 40-50 minutes long. I'd imagine spending a few minutes on 10 maps. So I do apologise, like I say, that I've whizzed through the 10 maps. But I just wanted to show them to you, as I say, whet your appetite for them if for any reason you haven't heard of them. I know we're quite late on into the life cycle of 22 here, but again, if there's any of them that you haven't heard of and you wanted to give them a try, the links will be in the video description below. So yeah, but it's been a lovely little journey down memory lane, I must admit, for me, for this, making this video. The idea came to me a couple of days ago and I thought, yeah, do you know what, I've played the game for long enough, I've experienced enough of the maps on the game that I think I'm kind of within my rights to create a top 10 of my favourite maps, because there's so many. We are a very, very lucky community, ladies and gentlemen, to have so many wonderful modders and map creators doing stuff like this for us. Now I know Oxygendavid is creating its Whitcomb Park Farm, isn't it, for Farming Simulator 25. Scroft was very lucky and generous enough for us to release a video showcasing a few images from that up-and-coming map for FarmSim 25. I cannot wait for that. I'm sure those of you who've seen that one will completely agree with me. But nonetheless, there we go, my top 10 favourite maps for FarmSim 22. I do hope you've enjoyed the video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your time for watching the video. I really do appreciate it. As always, if you're new to my channel and you like my content, you like the way I'm doing things, please consider hitting that subscribe button and jumping on board. Please join the channel. Please give the video a like if it's no trouble. It does do wonders. It helps the YouTube algorithm do its thing. And as always, there are a host of links in the video description below with my Giants Partner promo code. If any of you are in the market for purchasing a DLC, an add-on, a season pass, or even the full game itself, and you like the idea of helping a content creator out and supporting their channel, as always, I would be massively appreciative. So thanks again for your time for watching the video, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.